Yeah.
We really didn't hear from the agent, which is another key thing, difference between you and him. So we didn't hear from the agent. The marketing really wasn't there. We paid for everything up front, and those key differences are definitely what made you more appealing than others.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ken, bringing you guys another video testimonial. Today I'm here with my client, Julian. Thank you so much for your time, brother. I really appreciate it. So today we're going to be just talking about a little bit about his overall experience with our recent real estate transaction and just dive into it. So before we get started, would you mind just giving a quick introduction to everybody at home?
Hi, my name is Julian. I'm a soldier in the U.S. Army. I'm currently stationed here at Fort Bliss, Texas, in the heart of El Paso.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the background, how we got here. So you had initially wanted to sell your home and you listed it with another agent. After 74 days on market, it ended up becoming expired. Tell us a little bit about that situation.
So with that situation, I initially sought out a realtor to sell the house because originally I was going to PCS a lot sooner than now. I originally went with the realtor to try to get the house on the market and at least get the ball rolling and started on getting the house sold to a different family or a different person. With that being said, with the realtor, nothing kind of went as planned. We never heard from the realtor, really. We just signed the contract after starting with their agency, but they never came by for marketing. We never really heard from them other than the different things we need to put money in to invest in the house.
Oh, okay, so they were telling you to kind of purchase kind of different things for the house or purchase different marketing stuff? Or?
So it was paying for the photographer to come in, take pictures, paying for them to get video inside the house, paying for the cleaning company to come in and clean the house. It was paying for different things and then having them also never really be here to actually attempt to sell the house or do anything on their end that made it more stressful than what it needed to be.
Right. So they were charging you for all these upfront costs, and then were they still going to get a 6% commission, or what was the structure with them?
So they were still going to get a 6% commission with all the stuff that we were charged for up front, but with it, we never saw them really come in or do anything. They probably sent someone from their agency about 3 times in that whole 2 months.
And they were kind of just doing like open houses, I think you said, right?
Correct. So they did open houses with no signs, no advertisement, nothing. It was just, I guess, word of mouth if someone came by for the open house.
Yeah. And so other than the open houses, I mean, did you get any showings, any offers, anything like that?
We got 0 showings and 0 offers.
Wow. So 74 days on the market and no activity, huh?
Correct.
All right. So then it goes expired. I had called you up. We had set up a meeting to come and talk. And then we went over our entire marketing plan and kind of gave you some insight into like what we actually planned on doing to actually get the home sold. What stood out to you when you were getting all that information about what we do differently and the level of marketing that what we do? What stood out to you that made you interested in the first place?
So what stood out was knowing how you were going to market. So knowing that you're going to market by going online, that there are going to be flyers, ads put out saying that, hey, this place is available. Knowing that you would actually personally be invested in working it. Knowing that I get updates saying, hey, this is how it went, this is how many people saw, this is what they're saying, this is what they think of the house. Like actually getting that feedback, but also knowing, hey, it was marketed out, because never seen people actually come by with the first person, and within like the first couple of days of it actually being on the market, people wanted to come within those, like that first day.
Yeah, within that first day we were getting showing requests. So those are all great points. One of the things, so I want to walk everybody through the timeline. So you saw everything we offered, you thought it was a good fit for you. And so let's talk a little bit about that process. So we started off, once you agreed, we did the cleaning, we did the landscaping, organized the garage, got all the photos, the videos done. And then we did a coming soon campaign, started letting people in the neighborhood know. We sent out some postcards, letting them know that this property was going to be available. And then, yeah, I mean, like you said, so once we started all that marketing, we also did some Facebook advertising. We really started to see a lot of results. So day one, we go on the market. I mean, do you remember what we had within those first few days in terms of showings?
So I remember there's somewhere around like 10 to 12 within those first like 2 days of showings.
Yeah, so it was a ton of activity. Within 4 days, we received a cash offer. And by the end of the week, we had 2 additional offers. Both were financing. And then on top of that, so total week from list to the end of the week, we got about 16 showings total, 3 offers. And then we ended up accepting the cash offer right away. We got the clear to close within like 3 days, which is kind of insane. And now we're set to close on Monday. Everybody's happy with the numbers, and it kind of like solved the problem that you were initially facing, right? Thinking, I mean, what were you thinking when it didn't sell? What was your next move?
So my next move was going to be to PCS. So currently I'm on orders to leave El Paso, and it was just going to be to rent an apartment while also still paying for the house.
And then probably just try to rent it out every year or something. Yeah. So that's kind of one of the risks. So obviously with you, it wasn't a situation where you could just be like, screw it, I'll just stay in the house, and it didn't sell. Like, you had to sell because you were leaving. And I think that's when it's most important. I feel like most agents, they want a lot of commission, they want to bill their clients for everything, and they don't want to do any work, and they just want the house to sell on their own or another agent to sell it. And we kind of flipped that whole process. So we said, hey, look, here are our commission plans. We cover everything up front, all the photos, the videos, the cleaning, landscaping. We even did some minor repairs that I took care of myself. I mean, those are little details that a lot of agents kind of have an ego, and they think, oh, that's not my job, or I'm too good for that. I mean, I don't care. My biggest thing is like, I'm going to take care of the little details to make sure that we try and sell this thing for top dollar. So we ended up getting the cash offer for around $285. Is that a number that you were happy with, that you were good for?
Yes.
Yeah, and on top of that, they didn't ask for any closing costs. They are asking for a home warranty, which I'm paying for. That's part of one of the incentives that we give. That comes directly out of our commission as well, which is an incentive for the buyer. So yeah, everything kind of moved pretty quickly. Let me ask you, when you first interviewed me and you were talking a little bit, and you're like, okay, this kid's young, he looks pretty young, but he's got a pretty good marketing plan. I mean, did you notice or did you have any concerns before signing up? Like, I don't know, maybe if he's qualified enough?
So I would say I had no concerns, because even though there is that gap in between experience, you made up for it with actual hard work and technique. So you knew what you were going to do, you knew how you were going to advertise, you already had your plan set up, you already was ready to start from the first day, which you did. And from there, like, you had more of a plan built up than someone who's been in it a while, because they just sat back, looked at the house and said it will sell, but you actually said you're going to make it sell. So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, most people have a passive approach to marketing, meaning put a sign in the yard, we'll sit back and wait for an offer to come in. And we have a different approach. It's more of an offensive type of structure where we're going to go out and attack the market, right? We even called the neighborhood around, let them know that not only sent postcards, but we gave them a call, let them know that this house was available, letting them know, if they have any relatives or any friends that want to move into this neighborhood, that this is an option. So we really just try to go above and beyond, get the most amount of exposure to the home as possible. And would you say that was like the biggest difference between your previous agent and myself, or what do you think are some of the key differences?
That was definitely one of the differences. So with them, they didn't even leave a sign in the yard. So that's extra funny. With them, it was just advertised on Facebook for an extremely high price, and then we went with the price they gave us, but that price was unrealistic.
Right.
After seeing the comments online, we started making marketing like suggestions to the real estate agent, which was so most of the marketing came from us, along with paying for it up front. Yeah. We really didn't hear from the agent, which is another key difference between you and him. So we didn't hear from the agent. The marketing really wasn't there. we paid for everything up front, and those key differences are definitely what made you more appealing than others.
Great. Yeah, and so like just to give you guys a little bit of background, so I've said this before in other videos, I mean, we pay for everything up front. We never bill our clients anything. Even if the house never sells, I mean, we don't just slap a bill to our clients. We believe that we should only get paid if we perform for you at the highest level. So the only way to do that is to put our money where our mouth is. We put up all the upfront costs, and like I said, we only get paid if we actually sell the home, which is a lot different from a lot of agents. You know, another thing too, with the agents who have been doing it, 20, 30 years, they've been doing the same thing for 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that they've been evolving and getting better and adapting to the shifting market, right? And speaking on that market shift, it used to be where you could just throw it up on the MLS and it'll sell in 2 seconds, but now the market's different. Interest rates have risen, buyer demand has cooled off a little bit, and buyers now have more options, meaning days on market is up. And so these are all factors that we considered. So when we looked at the pricing, when we looked at the marketing, when we looked at who are we going to target to get in this property, these are all factors that we took into consideration before making the ultimate decision of how to market the home. So most agents don't take any time to understand who's the ideal client for this house. How much money do they have to make? What are their interests might be? How big is their family? What type of cars do they drive? I mean, these are all points where we can target people. We targeted people based on their actions. So if they were on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, they were seeing your house when they would go on social media. If they were qualified investors, where we know that they could afford this house, 200-300K cash, we also put ads in front of those people, right? So these are all factors that we like to consider for our clients. And so the last questions I would have for you is, there's someone out there right now probably watching this video, they listed with an agent, the agent didn't do anything, didn't sell, they probably just went cold and they said, you know what, I'm not gonna sell anymore, I'll just stay in it or whatever, and they kind of just got turned off to the whole idea because they had a bad experience. What would you say to someone who's maybe on the fence about booking an appointment with us and just having a conversation about if we could even help or not?
So I definitely say, seeing as I was someone who was on the fence also, it's definitely worth the risk. It's definitely worth the try to at least hear out what he has to say. To me, the plans that he came in with, the effort that he put towards it really was the difference between me and previous agents. Previous agents told me they were going to do something, but it just never happened, or I get an excuse later saying, hey, these things take time, but there would be no effort put towards it. With you, I beyond that effort. You came in first day, saw the house, did a walkthrough, gave the idea, showed what you do. Afterwards, from saying yes, you came in, you helped clean up the place, you helped make sure everything looked good, you had someone come in to take pictures. Everything in the house was set up for success, for someone to come in, look at the house and say, hey, I might want this house.
Exactly.
So to me, it's definitely worth just trying and hearing him out, because he can at least make a difference. I at least can say I'm someone that he made a difference for. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you putting that confidence in me, man, for real. So one thing I just want to, closing thoughts, guys. A lot of agents, okay, they are going out there into the market right now with simply no plan, right? They just want your business. They'll tell you, oh yeah, we could sell it for this crazy overpriced price and it won't be an issue. It's gonna sell in a week, no big deal. And they set these high expectations and they let you down. And one thing that I was really transparent about with you was, even like I was telling you, hey, look, the average days on market is up. It might take us 30, 45 days, because that's where we're looking at in averages in this area. But I'm gonna be pushing since day one, right? I'm not gonna let that be an excuse to say, well, hey, it's been a month. Well, that's what everybody's doing, right? And we did have competition. I mean, we're competing with new builds, we're competing with other resales in this community. And so we really did a good job in positioning this house to stand out as the obvious choice. And ultimately, I think that's what got us the results. So if you're worried, don't go with somebody who's gonna put you in a cookie cutter plan. You need someone to come in and give you a custom built plan that's gonna work for you and the ideal client for your home. So that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Julian, I appreciate your time, brother.
No problem.
And we'll do it again soon. Thanks, guys.